Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the essential heart of Portugal.
Yeah.
And we're not looking at the usual tourist stuff. We're using our sources to pin down that, authentic lived experience.
Exactly.
We're focusing on some key food traditions and, crucially, the freedom you need, logistically, to really explore the coast properly.
And that's the mission for you, listening. We want to pull out those surprising bits of culture that maybe get overlooked,
Right.
moving past the main drags to find what really makes Portugal tick. From, well, preserved fish that's surprisingly elegant to maybe the best street sandwich you'll ever have.
And how to actually get around to find it all.
Precisely. The practical side of unlocking those less seen shores.
Okay, so our sources today are guiding us through three, let's say, essential experiences. First up, the art of tinned fish conservas. Then, that iconic street sandwich, the bafana, humble but amazing. And finally, the nuts and bolts of doing a Portuguese coastal road trip right. All right, let's dive into section one, the art of the tin. So you walk into one of those shops and you see the conservas.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They really are, like colorful little jewels stacked up. You immediately have to kind of reset your thinking, right? This isn't just emergency canned tuna.
Not at all, no. This is something else entirely. It's authentic. It's actually quite chic now, and it's got deep historical roots.
Okay, tell us about that history, because Portugal and the sea, that connection is fundamental.
Absolutely. The whole conservas industry really took off back in the 19th century. It was a genuinely revolutionary way to preserve food.
So more than just a snack.
Oh, much more. It was vital. Think about it, preserving the huge summer catches, especially sardines, meant they could be eaten all year round. It was crucial for feeding fishermen, sailors on those long trips.
Right, provisions for voyages.
Exactly. And it quickly grew into a massive industry, a real point of national pride, actually. So when you buy a tin today, you're kind of holding a piece of that industrial maritime history.
That reframes it completely.
Yeah.
But how does it go from, staple food for sailors to something kind of gourmet served in special bars?
Well, it boils down to two things, mainly quality and variety. That's what sets it apart now.
Yeah.
Sure, sardines are the icon.
Yeah, everyone knows the Portuguese sardines.
Right, but if you stop there, you're missing out hugely. Stepping into a proper conservas shop is like discovering a whole universe in miniature tins. You have to look beyond the sardines.
So what should we be looking for then? What are the standouts?
Okay, look for really good quality tuna, like exquisite fillets, maybe the ventresca, the belly cut. It's worlds away from the flaked stuff. Then you've got tender mackerel, smoky octopus is amazing, delicate squid, all preserved right when they're freshest, often hand-packed within hours of the catch.
And the liquid they're packed in, that's a big deal, isn't it? That's not just brine.
Huge deal. Absolutely critical. You won't find cheap brine or basic oils here. It's almost always high-quality Portuguese olive oil, that golden stuff.
Wow.
Or sometimes a rich tomato sauce. Or, if you like a kick, piri-piri oil.
And that olive oil does more than just preserve.
Definitely. It becomes part of the flavor. It mellows and enriches the fish over time, changes the texture. It's integral.
Okay, and connecting this back, the tin itself is part of the appeal, right? The packaging makes it the perfect souvenir.
Exactly. That's a key insight. Many of the older companies still use their original vintage-style labels. They're these fantastic, colorful little works of art.
They really are eye-catching.
Totally. They tell a story of the sea, the fishermen, the town it came from. Plus, they look great, they're light, they won't break in your suitcase, they're cheap, just a few euros. And most importantly, they're delicious.
An edible piece of authentic Portuguese design. Love it.
Precisely.
So how do locals actually eat them? You're not just, like, cracking open a tin over the sink.
Haha. No, definitely not. It's actually quite an elegant, simple, social thing. You'll find bars, even quite chic restaurants, dedicated just to serving conservas.
Really? As the main event?
As the main event. Served as petiscos, small plates for sharing. All you really need is good, crusty bread, essential for mopping up that amazing oil.
Gotta get the oil.
You have to get the oil. Some good olives, and ideally, a glass of crisp, cold vinho verde.
Ah, the green wine.
Yes, that slightly sparkling young wine. It's just perfect. A relaxed social pleasure.
Okay, let's pivot now. From that sort of slow, refined seafood experience to something completely different. The iconic, humble but oh so satisfying street food, The Befana.
The Befana, yes. A true working-class hero.
It's just this explosion of garlic and wine in a bun, right? A masterpiece of simplicity.
Absolutely. It's a cultural institution, cheap, fast, incredibly flavorful, and its genius is in the details, especially how the pork is prepared.
Okay, break it down for us, the anatomy of this legend.
All right. So, the star is pork loin, sliced really thin, often pounded even thinner to make it super tender. But the real magic, the secret weapon, is the marinade, or rather, the simmering liquid.
Tell us about the magic liquid.
Okay, so the pork isn't just quickly fried, it's simmered for hours, literally hours, in this big, bubbling, fragrant pan.
Wow, hours.
Yep, usually white wine, heaps of crushed garlic, like loads of garlic paprika, maybe some bay leaf, other spices. Every place has its own little secret recipe.
And that long simmering does what? Makes it super tender.
Exactly. Tenderizes it beautifully so it almost melts. And it infuses every single bit of that pork with that intense, garlicky, winey flavor. The smell alone wafting down the street, that's the best advertising.
I can almost smell it. And the bread you mentioned, that's critical too. It's not just any old roll.
No, absolutely not. It has to be a papa seco. That's specific Portuguese roll. It's crusty on the outside, but quite light and airy inside.
Why that particular roll?
Well, think about it. It needs to be sturdy enough to handle that juicy, quite wet meat without just disintegrating instantly.
Right. Structural integrity needed.
Definitely. But that airy inside is perfect for soaking up all that amazing marinade and the juices from the pork. If the bread isn't right, the whole thing fails. It's non-negotiable.
Okay, pork, marinade, perfect bread. What's the final touch? The thing you absolutely have to have?
Mustard. Simple yellow mustard, a good generous squeeze.
Yellow mustard, not Dijon or anything fancy.
No, plain yellow mustard. That tangy kick is essential. It cuts right through the richness of the pork and the garlic, provides that perfect balance. Don't skip the mustard.
Got it. Now, is a Befana the same everywhere in Portugal, or do you get variations?
A good question. There's definitely a bit of a friendly rivalry, a regional difference. You basically get the tale of two sandwiches. So if you're down south, like in Lisbon or the surrounding area, you'll get the southern style. That usually focuses on cleaner flavors, strong garlic, white wine comes through clearly. The pork slices are often just layered neatly in the roll. Pretty straightforward, very flavor forward.
Clean and powerful.
And the north.
Ah, the north, especially around Porto. That's often a heartier affair. The sauce might be richer, maybe a bit darker. Sometimes they use beer in the marinade instead of, or as well as wine.
Beer? Interesting.
Yeah, and often a touch of piri-piri, so it'll have a bit more spice, a definite kick. The meat might be chopped up more rather than just sliced. And this is key. The whole sandwich often gets absolutely drenched in that sauce before they wrap it up.
Okay, so messier, but maybe richer?
Definitely messier.
Yeah.
And yeah, a deeper, more sauce-heavy experience. Both are amazing, just different takes.
So, crucial question for anyone listening who's now desperate for one. How do you find the real deal? Not some tourist trap version. Right. You need to look past the places with big, glossy menus in 5 languages. Look for a small cafe, a little snack bar, or a proper tasca.
Those little local spots.
Exactly. Where you see locals standing at the counter, maybe grabbing one on their break. The dead giveaway, though, is sensory. Look and sniff for that big, wide, shallow pan simmering away behind the counter.
The bubbling pork pan.
That's the one. If you see that pan and the air is thick with that amazing garlic smell, you're probably in the right place. And remember, it's not really a sit-down, leisurely meal.
No.
No, it's Portuguese fast food at its finest. Quick, cheap, eaten standing up at the counter, maybe with a small beer or a coffee. Get in, eat it, get out. Perfect.
Okay, let's shift gears now, moving from food to freedom of movement. We've talked about finding these hidden gems, the right tasca for a Befana, the best Conservas shop. To really access the soul of Portugal, especially along the coast, public transport often doesn't cut it right.
Yeah.
Why is having your own car so key?
Look, a car isn't just like a nice-to-have outside of Lisbon and Porto. It's pretty much essential if you want real discovery.
It's essential.
I'd say so. Yes, the cities are fine with trains and buses. But the real magic of the coast, those incredible hidden beaches, the tiny fishing villages, they're often down some unmarked dirt road or in places where maybe one bus comes a day if you're lucky.
Right, so the car unlocks the inaccessible bits.
Totally. It gives you that freedom, not just to find secluded spots, but also just to explore at your own pace. You see something interesting, you stop, you find a beach you love, you stay longer. You're not tied to a bus schedule.
And you mentioned the West Coast specifically,
Yeah.
that wilder area.
Yeah, absolutely critical there. That whole stretch, the Costa Vicentina, much of it is a protected natural park. It's vast, rugged, stunningly beautiful.
Not much infrastructure.
Very little. Public transport is extremely limited in the park itself. If you want to hike those cliff paths, find those deserted surf beaches, really feel that raw Atlantic power, you pretty much need your own wheels.
Okay, sold. Renting a car it is. So let's get practical. What are the absolute must-know tips for someone renting a car in Portugal to make it stress-free?
Okay, crucial stuff here. Number one, book way ahead. Especially if you're going between, say, June and September, cars get booked up.
And automatics.
Ah, yes, automatics are much less common than manuals, and they are always significantly more expensive. If you can drive a stick shift, you'll save a good chunk of money and have way more options.
Good to know. Tip number 2.
Go small. Resist the urge to get a big SUV, even if you like the space.
Why small?
Because you'll immediately regret a big car when you're trying to navigate the incredibly narrow cobblestone streets in historic towns or find parking near a popular beach. It's just stress you don't need. A compact car is your best friend.
Makes sense. Ancient streets, modern SUVs.
Yeah.
Not a good mix. Okay, next vital tip, tolls. This seems to trip people up.
This is a big one, yeah. Portugal's main highways, the A roads, mostly use electronic tolls. There are often no booths to pay cash or card.
So you just drive through. How do you pay?
Exactly. And figuring out how to pay later online can be a real pain, especially for tourists. The simple, stress-free solution is to rent the little electronic transponder device, it's usually called Via Verde, from the rental company when you pick up the car.
Like an easy pass or something.
Pretty much. It costs maybe a couple of euros a day extra, but it automatically logs your tolls and charges the card you have on file with the rental company. Honestly, it's worth every cent for the peace of mind. Don't leave the rental place without it.
Okay, Via Verde transponder. Got it. Anything else before we drive off the lot?
Yes. Protect yourself. Before you drive away, take out your phone and take a detailed video or lots of photos of the car inside and out.
Why? Documenting condition.
Precisely. Note every little scratch, dent, scuff mark that's already there. It takes 5 minutes, but it's your insurance against getting blamed and charged for pre-existing damage when you return it.
Smart. And fuel policy.
Always try to get a full-to-full policy. It means you pick it up full, you return it full. The prepaid fuel options the rental companies offer almost always work out more expensive. Fill it up yourself just before you return it.
Okay, brilliant practical tips. So we've got our small car, our Via Verde, our photos. We're hitting the road. You mentioned the coast offers 2 really different experiences.
Yeah, it's amazing how distinct they are, and they're not that far apart. First, you've got the southern coast, the Algarve. That's the Portugal many people picture.
The postcard views.
Exactly. Those famous golden yellow cliffs, stunning sea caves and grottos you can take boat trips to, beautiful, calmer, often warmer beaches. It's got bustling resort towns alongside dramatic scenery. It's gorgeous, but it's also the most developed part.
Okay, the Golden Paradise.
Oh.
Then what happens when you head west or north along the west coast?
Then you hit the western coast, the wild edge, and the landscape, the whole vibe, just shifts completely. It becomes much more raw, rugged, windswept, big Atlantic swells pounding the coast. It's got some of the best surfing in Europe for a reason.
So less swimming, more surfing.
Generally, yeah. Fewer high-rise hotels, more protected nature reserves, dramatic cliffs, hikers, little fishing villages clinging to the coast. It feels untamed. You feel kind of small against the power of the ocean there.
Wow.
And the real beauty of having that car, that freedom, is you can experience both. Dip into the Algarve's beauty, then escape to the wildness of the West Coast. All on the same trip, depending on your mood.
Hashtag tag outro.
So just to wrap things up, we've really covered a spectrum of Portuguese authenticity today, haven't we? From that refined, almost artistic preservation in the Conservas tins
Yeah, the slow art.
to the fast, punchy, working-class hardiness of the Bafana, fueling the nation.
Totally.
And underpinning it all, the absolute need for your own transport, your own wheels, to really get off the beaten path and find those genuine coastal experiences, those local spots that the trains and buses just don't reach.
Right. So for you, the listener, you should now feel equipped. You know how to pick out a truly special, edible souvenir in those Conservas. You can confidently order a perfect Bafana and even know the difference between the North and South styles. And crucially, you've got the roadmap, the practical tips, especially that Via Verde toll thing, to plan and execute a smooth, stress-free road trip along Portugal's amazing Atlantic edge.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe something for you to chew on. If the Befana, is this masterpiece made from simple stuff simmered for
Like
ages.
low-cooked fast food.
Exactly. And the conservatives are like capturing peak freshness, preserving art in a tin. What other simple, maybe overlooked bits of everyday culture, whether it's in Portugal or anywhere else, are actually these hidden national masterpieces waiting to be appreciated?
That's a great question. And how does that contrast the speed of the Befana, needed right now, versus the preservation of the Conservas, timeless? How does that tension help define a nation's soul? Something to ponder. Go find out for yourself. Boa Viagem.